is Nahdlatul Farahi binti Abdullah as the first presenter. Today I would like to present my part, which is introduction and objective. So here we go. First, we need to know what is lean budget before we go to lean budget analysis. A lean budget in telecommunications and networking is described as of all the gains and losses of a transmitter during its active state. Meanwhile, for lean budget analysis under the ITU are specific test environment. In satellite communication system, there are two types of power calculation. Those are transmitting power and receiving power calculation. In general, these calculations are called as lean budget calculation. The unit of power is decibel. Importance of lean budget. Lean budget will determine what size antenna to use, power requirements, and bit error rate. In general, the overall customer satisfaction with our work. Next, objective. So our objective for this assignment is first, to determine the carrier noise ratio and related parameters used to define communication link design and performance. Second objective is to develop calculator based on the parameter defined in link budget calculation. Next is to implement calculator link budget analysis with MATLAB software. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, Muhammad Firdaus.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Muhammad Firdaus bin Muhammad Asnan. Today I want to present the assignment satellite. Okay, my part is safety and legal issues. Okay, first, safety. Safety is the calculation during the design of a communication system able to determine the receiver power. It ensures the information is received intelligibly with an adequate signal to noise ratio. Second, performance of any communication link depends on the quality of the equipment being used. Last, the satellite radio frequency must not be interfered in order to operate a telecommunication satellite system satisfactorily. Okay, for the legal issue, first, the legal question, which is the foundation of a case. It requires a court's decision and the outcome of which depends on the court's interpretation of the law. Second, the communication link between a satellite and the earth station is exposed to a lot of impairments. The last of legal issues is the information called delay during the uplink and downlink transformation. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Nur Izayu binti Muhammad Jamka and I will explain about the procedure. As we can see, the project is procedure on designing the link budget system. First, we set parameter of each link budget, and then we design GUI, and then process the input, insert input based on choosing parameter, and then we calculate, and the last one is value calculate is displayed in appropriate box. As we can see, the right slide, formula used in MATLAB GUI. We can see they have 50 parameters and formula. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Fizadi binti Jaafar and I will present result and simulation part. Before I'm showing my simulation, I will talk a little bit about callback function in GUI MATLAB calculator making. Okay, so in this picture, this is one example for callback function in push button. So when we press the push button will execute the formula. So it will display the output. So basically, this specific line of coding are vital in ensuring the GUI are designed properly in order to execute calculation in link budget calculator. In this slide, it shows the calculator layout. So as you can see, this is our calculator layout, and this is the simulation picture after we run the calculator. So this is how it looks. So as you can see, in this link budget calculator, it divides into two sections. First section is for input and the second section is for the output. So what we're going to do, we will insert the data that we want to compute in the input data, and then we will compute at the output data. So I will show it in the simulation in MATLAB. Okay, for this part, I will show the demonstration on how to use this calculator. As you can see, this is our M file for this MATLAB, for this calculator. So after we run the coding, okay, so this calculator will pop up. So this is our calculator. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this calculator has two different sections, which is for input data and output data. So how to use this calculator? Okay, let's say if you want to calculate the wavelength, you need to refer the data you need here. So you need data from F. So what you need to do is you put the data that you want to calculate. Let's say you want to calculate the 1000 hertz. Okay, 1000 hertz wavelength. Okay, so you just click compute, so you get the wavelength for 1000 hertz frequency. Okay, so for power converter, let's say you want to convert watt in dB, so you just put the value you want to convert. Let's say you want to convert 20 watt. Okay, you just click convert, so you get the value. Okay, so for C and R ratio is in dB, so that's why the purpose why I put this all in dB, because I want to direct calculate the value of C and R. Okay, let's say in this PRFP I put N. Okay, for this bandwidth, noise bandwidth, let's say I put 34. This is just a random value. So for need GR, so we put GR here. Okay, for LP, let's say 7 is okay. Okay, ARP, okay, enough. Then we need TS. So TS, let's say I put 100 Kelvin. So we just click compute, so we get the value for C and ratio. So now let's put all the data. So we will calculate all the parameters. So let's say for the wavelength, I put 50 meter. For diameter, let's say 20, and for efficiency, let's say 0.5, and for AR, okay, let's say 25, and this 24. For the satellite distance, let's say 40,000 meters. Okay, so for power transmit, let's say I put 23 watt. For transmit gain GT, let's say 21, and for PR 24. Okay, we already insert all the data that now we want to compute. So let's say we want to start with this coordinate aperture AR, so we need data D, so we already put the data, so we just click the compute. And for effective aperture AE, we need efficiency and AR, so we already put the efficiency and AR here, so we just click the compute. For the flux density F, okay, we need the GT value, but right now the GT value is in dB. So what you're gonna do is you need to calculate the GT from here first. So let's say I calculate GT first, okay, then you just calculate this F, so you get the value. So for the pulse loss LP, you need wavelength and R. Okay, so you already provide the data, so you just need to click the compute, so you get the value. For figure of merit, also same. You need GR first, okay, so you compute the GR first, and then you compute for figure of merit. Okay, right now you want to calculate the receive power, so the data is already provided, so you just click compute. And for power transmit, also same, you just click compute. And for ERIP, already provide all the data, you just click compute. And now all the parameters output is show up. So this is how you use this calculator. This slide showing the comparison value between calculator and theoretical in order to see how well this calculator will work. As you can see in this table, for power converter, when we convert 20 watt, we get 30 dB for calculator, and also same with the theoretical. When we observe all the value in this table, we can see this value is identical to each other. In other words, this calculator is success. So that's all for me. Thank you.
My name is Nurul Azarina. I will present discussion. The link budget analysis are important for the purchase and sale satellite capacity. And this link budget calculator is easy and user friendly. Also has visually appealing design. And the overall of this link budget calculator is worked well because after simulation, all the output was compared with the theoretical calculation. All the output got from calculator same with the theoretical calculation value. In so we can conclude we are able to achieve all these project objectives. First, we are able to determine the carrier noise ratio and relate parameter used to define communication link design and performance. Second, we are able to develop calculator based on parameter defined in link budget calculation. Overall, all calculator works well after the result got from simulation was compared with theoretical calculation. Lastly, we are able to implement calculator link budget analysis with MATLAB software. That's all from our group. Thank you.